Today, class, we are going to begin working with simplifying variable expressions. The first thing we must understand are the different parts of speech and different vocabulary terms that will be used while we're doing this. The first thing we're going to talk about are terms. Terms are parts of an expression that are added together. So in this example below, you can see that 5x, 4x, and 7 are all separate terms. Next thing we're going to look at are the coefficients. Coefficients are the number that is with the variable, the number part of the term. So in this example, we have two coefficients, 5, which is attached to the x, and also 4, which is attached to the x. Constant terms are the next thing we will discuss, which is the number that has no variable. So in this example, we have one constant term, which is 7. Like terms are terms that have identical variable parts. Also, two or more constant terms are also considered like terms. In this example, we have 5x and 4x that we would consider like terms. So I'd like us to identify the terms, like terms, coefficients, and the constant terms of the expression below. So my terms are y, 8, negative 5y. Notice that there's a minus sign in front of it. It is a negative. And also negative 3. Each one of those is its own term. We have like terms. The ones with the same variable are alike. So y and negative 5y are alike. And also the constant terms of 8 and negative 3 are alike. The coefficients in this problem are the numbers in front of the variables. Now, we have y by itself, but we understand that 1 would be a coefficient for that variable of y by itself. And we also have the coefficient of negative 5, which is in front of the other y. The constant terms are the numbers that are without variables, so we have 8 and negative 3 that are also alike. That are also constant terms. You try this one. Stop the video for a second, come back and check your answers. We have terms of 13c, negative 4, negative 5c, and negative 6. Like terms in this problem are 13c and negative 5c. We also have the constants that are alike of negative 4 and negative 6. We have coefficients of 13 and negative 5, and constant terms of negative 4 and negative 6. Hopefully you did well with that, and you're starting to understand these vocabulary terms for this lesson of simplifying variable expressions. Now, as long as we understand those terms, we can move on to the next step, which is simplifying an expression. When we simplify expressions, we want to combine like terms to simplify it. A variable expression is simplified if it contains no grouping symbols and all the like terms are combined. So if we have grouping symbols, we're going to have to go back and use that distributive property that we recently talked about. So in this problem, we want to combine our like terms. So we have 4n minus an n that are alike. So we need to combine those two. So 4n minus n is going to give us 3n's. Then we need to combine are negative 7 plus 9. And negative 7 plus 9 is going to be a positive 2. So our final simplified expression here would be 3n plus 2 would be our answer. Let's try this one. So if I take a look at this, we have 3x plus 2 plus 5x. So we have like terms of 3x and 5x. So we're going to take 3x plus the 5x to give us 8x's. And plus 2 is by itself, so we just bring it down and apply it to the 8x. Let's try this one. It gets a little harder when we get the negatives involved. But if we take our like terms of negative 7b plus b, negative 7b plus b, so don't forget that's a 1b there, so negative 7b's plus 1b would be negative 6b. And then we have the constant terms of plus 3 minus 10. So positive 3 minus 10 would give us a negative 7. So our final answer would be negative 6b minus 7. Let's try this one. If I'm doing this one, I'd add 5 minus 6. So 5 minus 6 gives me a negative 1. Those are the constants. Now let's put the variable, the like terms of the variables together. So 8w minus w. 8w minus 1w would give us a positive 7w. So our answer would be negative 1 plus 7w. Now, like I said before, we're going to have some of these expressions that contain parentheses. Then when we solve them, we want to get rid of those parentheses. So we have to use our distributive property. So when I distribute this 2 to everything inside, quick review there, of the parentheses, 2 times x is going to be 2x. 2 times negative 4 is going to be a negative 8. Now I bring down everything else in my expression because I haven't done anything with that 9x plus 1 yet. Now when I step back and look, I know I can combine my like terms just like we were just doing. 2x plus 9x is 11x. And negative 8 plus 1 would be a negative 7. You stop the video and you try this one. Come back and see if you have the right answer. That's when I distribute, I go 4 times x, which would be 4x. 4 times 1, which would be a positive 4. Bring down the 2x plus 5. Showing all my work. Now I combine my like terms. 4x plus 2x is 6x. 4 plus 5 is a positive 9. So you should have gotten an answer of 6x plus 9. Now we need to distribute this negative 3. Please pay attention to that minus sign in front of that 3. We got to apply it like it's a negative. So I bring down the 10y. Now we're going to distribute negative 3 to 6. Negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. Negative 3 times a negative y, negative times a negative we know is a positive. So I write positive 3y plus 3y. Now we need to combine our like terms. 10y plus 3y is 13y minus 18. One more. This one gets a little bit tricky because we have AC plus 2 minus C plus 2 in parentheses. Now we need to apply this minus or this negative to everything inside the parentheses before we can combine our like terms. So I'm going to bring down the 8C and the 2. Now we're going to apply negative to the C. Negative times C is a negative C. And a negative to this positive 2, negative times a positive 2 would be a negative 2. So we can kind of treat that negative like a -1. Now, looks just like what we've been doing. Now let's combine our like terms. 8c minus c would give us 7c's. And a positive 2 minus 2, 2 minus 2 is 0. So our final answer would just be 7c. If you put the plus 0 there, is there anything wrong with that? No, but also no reason to put it there. Hopefully now that we have done several of these simplifying variable expressions, you understand how to combine your like terms in any kind of a problem like this.